South Africa. How's it going? What a long, busy day it has been for elections in South Africa. Glitches galore, queues all over the place, people waiting. But nonetheless, South Africans are exercising their right to vote. I'm going to put my reading glasses on. I hope that doesn't bother folks. I mean, I still look dead sexy, don't I? Also very sunburnt here as I got fried in the sun today. Let me move this around a little bit so I can get this a little bit closer where I can see the keyboard so I can see your chat comments. Anyway, what a day. What a day. Epic. So, my day started, it was going to be in Brockenfell with Joe Emilio, who said he was going to the polls at 6:30, and he went to the polls at 6:30, but I didn't want to disturb the folks where I was staying overnight, so I didn't get up and go out at that time, even though it was fine. So, oh my, I just went live. Isn't that interesting? It took that long. I've been talking for like 2 minutes, and a minute just went live. Anyway, so I skipped Joe Emilio and I went straight to Somerset West. Somerset West, I met up with Notu, the lady who was a candidate for Action SA, who was on my program a few weeks ago. And she got me introduced to the Action SA candidate for Premier of the Western Cape, none other than Angela Sobey, a lovely, fascinating woman. And I did an interview of her there, but let's just start with the Somerset West voting station. It was at the Beaumont Primary School that I went to, and there were at 9:45 when I arrived. I parked about 300 meters down the road because I could see that it was jam-packed up there, so I was fine. I walked up to the polling station, and there were about 800 people, 800 people in line. It was a long line out into the street. There were no political parties there campaigning for votes at the time, which was interesting. There were some kids selling some sweets to make a little bit of money, which was kind of cool. Always love to see capitalism at work. But I have to say that I did, of course, run into my first Karen of the day, and it happened to be a white male. They are the worst Karens, to say the least. So I'm taking pictures of the queue, standing in public on a public street. And he's like, "Hey, you can't take pictures here." I said, "Excuse me? Why are you taking pictures?" I said, "Because I'm a journalist." "Why are you taking pictures of people in the street?" I said, "Do you have an expectation of privacy? You're standing in a public street." He said, "Well, you're not supposed to take pictures." I said, "No, it's perfectly legal. I'm a journalist." "Oh, why are you taking pictures of children?" I said, "Excuse me, I answered your question. You don't have to be aggressive with me." I said, "Aggressive?" I said, "You're the one being aggressive. I answered your question. You're being an ass now. I'm not taking pictures of children." "Yes, you are. There's a child in your picture." I said, "I'm taking pictures of public queue. I'm not taking pictures of children." "But you're taking pictures of the school." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm not in the school." I said, "Stop being an ass." I said, "You sound like those clowns in the UK when I go to a public museum, there's kids in there and I can't take pictures of the museum exhibits. What am I supposed to stand around till all these kids vacate? I'm not taking pictures of children." Some people are just Karens, absolute Karens. You know, what an idiot. So that's kind of how my day started. And it got much better because shortly after that, Angela showed up along with her PA Jacques, and they were lovely people from Action SA. And so No2 showed up there. It was great to see them. I did an interview, which will be posted after I get a chance to upload it. It's going to take some time. I couldn't do it over the phone. It would still be loading. But I'll do it over Wi-Fi. And I'll get that video uploaded to YouTube. And you'll be able to see the interview with the candidate for Premier here in the Western Cape from Action SA. She's a lovely lady. So then she said, "We're off to Khayelitsha after this." I said, "Well, do you mind if I go along?" And she said, "Not at all." So I followed them to Khayelitsha. In Khayelitsha, we went to 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 polling stations. It was 4 for sure. I'm trying to remember now. It's all just kind of a flurry. And a number of things about Khayelitsha. LMC comes on the channel and constantly goes on, and a couple other people constantly go on about how horrible things are in Khayelitsha. Well, definitely, it's not an ideal place for many people who live there. Conditions are appalling in some cases. There is a ton of formal housing in Khayelitsha that people don't talk about. The traffic, the robots worked. The streets were paved in most of the places. The schools were functional. So, you know, if you're going to tell about the bad side of Khayelitsha, how about you tell the truth and the whole story? I mean, I saw, you know, KFCs and Shell stations were operational there. You don't put formal businesses in places that are completely broken. Anyway, look, this isn't a tour guide to invite you to move to Khayelitsha. Trust me, there's better places to live. But the point here is that what you're being told is not the entire story. Anyway, nonetheless, so we went there. It was interesting. And I'd say at 2 of the polling stations, the people were really excited. Lots of dancing. I'll also load that video up. Hopefully we won't get a copyright strike. I doubt it because YouTube probably doesn't recognize the music. But that was interesting. But a couple of polling stations were a little slow and boring. I did see a Zappo out there. I was surprised to see that and didn't know that was going to happen. And did see somebody with a South African Communist Party t-shirt on, just one of them. ANC voters, their volunteers were enthusiastic, but their voters didn't seem to be very excited. Also, I didn't see much from some of the opposition parties. The DA was present in all the places I went. The ANC was present in almost all the places I went. The Freedom Front Plus was non-existent. The ACDP didn't show up until I went to Mannenberg later on, and then on to Rondebosch. They were there as well. Yeah, it was interesting that I didn't see a lot of these parties at these events. So Khayelitsha, finished Khayelitsha. After Khayelitsha, went with the Action SA candidate on to Mannenberg, which is where she grew up. And we went there. That was pretty quiet. Some parties I never heard of were there and campaigning. That was interesting. And from there, I parted ways, and I thank Action SA for their help this morning and for allowing me to tag along and for the interview. Also for the t-shirt that I was given. Anyway, so once that was done, I went on to Rondebosch, and at Rondebosch, I got there, I saw the DA and ACDP and Referendum Party had people there. After that, I left and went to Sea Point. And there I interviewed Phil Craig from Referendum Party. And from there, I went, I got a weird feeling the commies are going to win. I don't think so, not unless they cheat. And then from there, I headed up the coast a little bit, went to Parklands. That was amazing. At 7:15 in the evening, the queue was wrapped around the building. It was insane. There was nowhere to park. I parked down the street, fortunately, so I didn't get stuck in the traffic. And all the parties were represented there. And from there, I went to my last station, which was the Tableview High School. The Tableview High School, there were 12 to 1,300 people in the queue at 8 o'clock. They're 2 and 3 and 4 abreast, going all the way back for about 800 meters from the door around the corner. It was hectic, as South Africans say. Let's see who's in the chat here. I'll say hello to everybody because apparently somebody's being disrespectful. Freelance Kate is here. Joe Neiman is here. Welcome, Joe. Jan Filion. Who else? Artie Pandey. Hey, Artie, how's it going? Okay. Brett Sessoms. Joe says, I changed my voting point from London to Northcliffe and had no issues. That's good. Oh, a lot of people had no issues. A lot of people got through quickly, but there were issues, and I'm going to talk about those. I'm going to talk about the ones I saw. Most of what I saw went pretty smoothly. There were long queues, but mostly because just so many people rocked up, and they were throughout the day. There wasn't really a lull in most places. Donga is still doing doing a little too much of that Daga, either that or he's doing Kat. I'm not sure what he's doing. The People's Victory. Hey, Laudine, how's it going? Mario Falante Rabella, welcome, Mario. Ronell says, great job today. Well, thank you, Ronell. I gave it a shot. And Richard says, welcome in South Africa. Okay. And Donga says, Colonel, you are not only taking pictures, but interfering with sovereign country's democratic process. Not at all. I didn't enter any voting stations. I didn't interfere with any election officials. I didn't interfere with anybody standing in line for the election. I didn't address anybody standing in line for the election. People who wanted to talk to me left the line and came and talked to me. Nope, didn't bother anybody, didn't interfere with anything. Perfectly law-abiding. So you can stick that in your backside and flip sec. Hey, Gareth, how's it going? Hopelang Lakota, welcome. Good to you. How are you? What else we got there? Yeah, for lots of people are voting EFF. Well, I didn't hear that. The EFF had virtually no presence anywhere I was at. No presence. In Khayelitsha, virtually no presence. Their volunteers were sullen and I don't want to say dejected because it was early in the day, but they weren't engaged. They weren't talking to people. They were just sitting there on the ground. Yeah, they were in a couple places where they're at. Didn't see them act. The ANC danced, the other parties are getting involved, but they were pretty. Anyway, Gareth says it's freezing in New Zealand. Well, cold people are cold here, but I'm feeling great. It's my kind of weather. Garrett Gillage. Garrett rocked up with me in Somerset. That wasn't. I can take my shoes off. My boots are killing me here. I'm walking around all day. But Gareth was with me there in Somerset West for a bit. Brought me some apples. Thank you for that, Gareth. Didn't get a chance to eat them today. I was so busy. But yeah, anyway. And then, oh boy. So, yeah, I got recognized 5 times on the street today, including in the dark twice. So I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. That was interesting. Hang on. Oh my goodness. I'll take my combat boots off. Whew, that's what I've been wearing all day. Anyway, so hey, there's Marilyn. Welcome, Marilyn. Gus is here. Good to see you guys. Werner Kruger says, good job for keeping us posted. Strand Town Hall was a joke for 5 hours. Oh my goodness, you still got to vote. Well, I'm glad you got to vote, Werner, and I'm glad you had the patience to hang in there. So let me talk about who recognized me before I go on to the issues that I saw. But look, let me go right now. Let me tell you, this is my view. Now, this is a narrow view. It's anecdotal from one person, and it occurred only in the Western Cape and only a small portion in the greater Cape Town metropolitan area. So with that in mind, that's not a reflection of the entire country. However, what I did see, professional, polite, friendly, respectful voters and political parties, all of them, including EFF. Everyone that I saw was polite, respectful, professional. No nonsense going on at any of the polling stations, no one playing any games, nothing. I also saw a strong police presence, particularly in the Cape Flats. Lots of police out patrolling around, friendly and polite. They were very helpful. And a presence is deterrence. And so, not that the people that were watching were going to do anything wrong, but it keeps people who have malintent. So the election was conducted very openly, very politely, very fairly, and people were very well behaved here in the locations I was in the Western Cape. Again, Somerset West, 4 or 5 locations in Khayelitsha, then Manenberg, Rondebosch, Sea Point, Parklands, and Milnerton. So then I just ran out of time, folks. I actually took time to eat today, so I went and got some Indian food. So that's what I must say about the election from my perspective, but I wasn't in the Eastern Cape, the Northern Cape, and Mpumalanga, Gauteng. It's a big country. I can't be everywhere in one day. So I think that's a pretty broad coverage. I went to places that are represented by overwhelmingly Black African population, by overwhelmingly colored population, by overwhelmingly white population, by mixed population, by wealthy and poor. I hit every aspect of the socioeconomic strata here in South Africa. And because of the mass in-migration to the Western Cape, it wasn't simply Xhosa, Khoisan, Afrikaner, English, and coloreds. It was also other Black South Africans from around the country who migrated here. So it was a very diverse mix of South Africans to say that. So Hopelang, I waited 7 hours at Wits. Oh my gosh, that is horrible, Hopelang. I'm so sorry you waited that long. That is grueling. That is, no one should have to wait more than 40 minutes to vote. That's insane. Well, thank you for taking the time and voting. Yeah. Leo Vin says, we stood for about an hour and a half in Midrand. Only sad thing is standing with us was an elderly gent who had to back up. He's not allowed to jump the queue. He was told he should have come yesterday. So here's the problem I have. Let me get to the problems. Okay. So inconsistency at the polling stations. Some polling stations, they had volunteers who came out, or they're paid. That's a token amount, kind of like my election workers. It's not like it's a job. They're just getting a little stipend. But they had poll workers who came out and told the elderly, if you're over 60, that's scary, that's elderly. If you're elderly, those with a baby in a pram, pregnant women, people with canes and such, they took them to the front of the queue, and that was very helpful. But other places didn't do it. At the Tableview High School, I ran into a couple coming out. I asked them how long they waited. They said an hour and a half, but they said it was unfortunate because they could have jumped the queue because they're over 60. And then I saw a woman with a baby in a pram, a very small child in the wind out there. So other places, they came out and got people. They let them know. Some places they didn't tell them. And it's unfortunate, people waiting all this time. So Heinrich says, voting Westville North, about 8 minutes, very organized, went after lunch. See, that's the thing, Heinrich. It's very uneven. It's good, bad, and the ugly, somewhere in between. So that's the thing. Now, I would say that people weren't waiting long in Khayelitsha. There were big queues, but people were moving fast. The Somerset West was one of the slowest queues I saw. And then, of course, the one at Tableview, the last one I went to, and then Parklands. But some of these places were Sea Point, Rondebosch, Manenberg, just like that, just straight through. A couple in Khayelitsha, very fast, well organized. Now the big problem with Tableview High School was that they only had 2 tablets. Now I've seen online that the IEC they had a lot of tablets malfunction, electronic devices failing, and the IEC had to tell their election officials to do things manually after keeping the queues waiting forever. When at 8 o'clock in Wartburg, in and out. Hey Dan, Wartburg. Oh, I missed the hotel there. I so wanted to go back there. Well, it's not. So that was my German experience in KZN. It was Wartburg. I miss it. But well, that, of course, I went to a German Lutheran church near Rorke's Drift. But I'll have my German experience here in Cape Town over in Blaubergstrand. We're going to have a meet and greet probably at the Kapstadt Brauerei, maybe Friday evening if I can get it set up. Anyway, so yeah, didn't have tablets, just a printed sheet, says Leovin. Well, here they had tablets, so inconsistent. Everyone should be voting in the same fashion. Yeah, Erica, 10 minutes and was out. Well, she was in a wheelchair, so there you go. How voting was great, 5 minutes, done and dusted. Okay, Mark Conway to 5 minutes. There, see, look at that. People are telling really great stories. That's awesome. The red bearers of the future. For now, the government will change the poor circumstances. Ah, boy, ladies and gentlemen, somebody please get some private medical insurance for Ndonga. He needs some care. Bebop Williams, it's not acceptable to stand in line practically all day. Let's not pat each other in the backs and call that competence. Bebop, not everybody had that experience. It's uneven. Yeah, Maryland was taken straight to the front as she arrived and was out in minutes. My domestic worker took 20 minutes. Okay. Must be your white privilege. No, no, it's because you're a bit older. So anyway, Hopalong says, I would have waited 14 hours to it. Yeah, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you 100%. 100%. Communists are the destruction of the planet. They're the most evil people on the planet. They have no concept of human nature. They have no concept of what motivates Homo sapiens, and they're dangerous. And what they do is they create systems that rob people who are contributors to society. They reward people who are dead weight, and they punish excellence, and they lead to, average outcomes or worse outcomes. And they think they know better than anyone else. They're arrogant. They are disgusting. They are murderous. They're vile. They're repulsive. And they barely exist as human beings. Communists, that is. Valerie says, must be exhausted. Thanks for all the updates and quickies you put us up. It's crazy. Now we wait. Yes, Marilyn, I'm a little bit tired now. I'm a bit sunburned. That's mostly why I'm tired. Oh, my goodness. In Khayelitsha, it was brutally hot there, ladies and gentlemen. It was hot today. I was cooking there for a while, and you see my face a little bit burned. Even at Sea Point, it was still warm, but at least it was the wind was blowing a little bit over there, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, crazy stuff. So, and then Ndonga thinks that the multi-party chart is a pipe dream. Okay, what else have I missed here? 7 hours of bits. I'm not going to forget that. That's crazy. Are poor and marginalized, so you reserve the privilege of owning your people and think of those. Yeah, exactly. Carrot, exactly. Eric is saying hi to everybody. Bebop says, not accept. I already got that one. Leovin said, they never asked us if we were over 60. Well, they might have assumed, Leovin. They might have assumed. Oh, my goodness. What else is going on here? Thanks, folks. 166 people currently there. Listen, again, congratulations to South Africans for what appears to be a violence-free, successful election, not without speed bumps. Problems happen in some places. A lot of people had a smooth experience. Some people had a bad experience waiting in line, as we saw here earlier from Hopelang. Wow, 7 hours. That's insane. But all things equal, it went pretty well. The ID scanners are extremely slow, hence long queues in Gaborone. Hey, Karen, welcome in from PE. Yep, Gaborone. Yep. What else we got here? Cian Kelly Beaton says, it seems there were also big discrepancies with the Section 24 issue. Able to vote even though I was registered. Yeah, no, unfortunately, when I was at Woodbridge Primary, I forgot to mention that. That's also a place I went. Woodbridge Primary, there was a couple of women who came up who thought they were registered. The Go-Go was registered. She was there. But the other two couldn't vote. They weren't registered. And they weren't even registered to the IC, so I don't know what happened. That really sucks. Can you imagine that? Going and thinking, 1 hour in Woodstock, says Kaza. Okay, that's not great. Listen, my standard at my polling station as judge of elections in Pennsylvania is to get people out of there in 20 minutes or less. That's my standard. I try to do it. I don't think we've ever exceeded people waiting more than 20 minutes since I've been judge, but that also depends on turnout. But we have, what happens with us is you come in one queue, but you walk in the door and there's a section for A through like E and then F through whatever, all the way. So like 7 different lines you jump into, 7 queues. You go up, you sign the book after they verify you. If it's your first time voting, you have to show ID. If it's not, then you just sign the book. You get your ballot and then you go vote. And we've got about 15 polling stations inside for privacy. You vote and you put your paper in the machine. You watch it go in, you watch the vote get counted, and they have the paper ballot to back it up. So that's how we do it, and it goes much smoother. But there are hiccups. Matthew Finlayson says 3 hours and 30 minutes. Whew. Hey, Sloat Steenkamp. Been with us for a long time, haven't you, brother? Yeah. So there were questions about where people registered, how they can vote, and there was some confusion. But all in all, let's see what else. Yes, Hopelang says red berets are not the future. They're destruction. Yep. No industry affects more people more than the EFF policies. You are correct about that. Yep. Dan Hook is here. Emerencia Diedrichs is back. Our voting went quick, 5 minutes, voted on a farm. Well, that's pretty cool. Some people had real issues with registration. Yes, they did. And as I mentioned, just those two ladies at the Woodbridge primary. Bebop says, Chris, many stations have people waiting 5 hours. Yes, Bebop, but it doesn't seem like to be like it's all in the same place. It seems to be random here, there, and in many places. 52 likes. Cool, thanks. What else we got there? Paul Joubert says only 2 scanners. Previous elections went much quick. Yeah, no, it was a good turnout here in the Western Cape. I can't speak. What do you guys think? Was it a good turnout in Gauteng and KZN and Eastern Cape and Mpumalanga? You let me know. Did you think it was a good turnout? I'm going to tell you, it was a massive turnout here in most of the polling stations I went to. A few were a little slow. Don't know why we can't do it on an app. Well, because mechanical things fail, so as we saw in a couple places. Artie says they totally underestimated voter turnout, especially on campuses. Well, that's an interesting thing if campuses were packed. Levin says they were saying there was about 30% more than expected. Yeah, the IEC did come out earlier today and said that there was a big turnout, and so that had an effect on what was going on as well. Yeah, Gilm Smith says third time lucky at Westdean. Joe Berg, first they were offline, then they ran out of voting boxes. Good Lord. Rita says in the queue 6, open 7, home at 8. Watch the sunrise. Wow, look at Rita. Boy, that worked out pretty well for you. So I'm going to have a little sip of Red Bull here to finish off this can. And yes, I know it's not red, it's the blueberry. I would prefer that. All right. Very impressed here in the Western Cape. So was I, freelance. Emails 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out. Wow. Well, 10 minutes in and out. Both scanners were broken, no backup. No, it's not asking too much to think ahead. We have backups for our stuff. Everything I do has a backup. We have 3 scanning machines, so if one goes down, we still got 2. We only need 1, but we have 3. That's the machines that read the paper ballots. So, yep. Paul says, in the voting booth, I think we are looking at 70%. Yeah, some people are saying that. But look, I only have the Western Cape to go by. But if the Western Cape is indicative of the country, it's going to be 70% turnout, which would be shocking. Longest ever waiting to vote. Richard, did you vote in 94? Or were you not old enough? The queue at Vitz was snaking around the field. Good Lord. Well, you waited 7 hours. High turnout in Escort. Well, this registered online last minute and had no problems today, says Erica. Campuses vote EFF. That's the future right there. Richard says, big turnout where I stay. Okay, now let me talk to you about being recognized, okay? Because this is one of the cool aspects of what I do. So, again, PooTube, they don't tell the truth. There's no way that I get recognized this often, this many places, when I'm traveling, not just in South Africa, if I have just 15,000 subscribers and just this many views. So YouTube doesn't give me credit for people who don't have accounts. A lot of South Africans don't bother to have YouTube accounts, but they watch the content. And I ran into a couple people today who told me that. They watch my content all the time, but they don't have an account, so they never get to chat. And so YouTube doesn't give me credit for that, hours watched or who that is, because they can't track it as well. Anyway, so 5 times this evening I was recognized. The first time I was recognized was not in Khayelitsha. It was actually at Sea Point. And the referendum party volunteer who was there recognized me. And that was pretty cool. She knew who I was when I walked up. And then I went from there. I was recognized at Woodbridge. A young gentleman named Ryan, who was in the queue, heard my voice, came walking over. He goes, Colonel Wyatt. And so told me he watches me. He's one of the people that doesn't register his account, so he watches the program. It was the second time. I walked down the street about 150 meters to the corner. The street light was working, and I was trying to make sure that I was going to the next polling station. I'm looking it up on the app, which is kind of handy from the IEC. And a gentleman walks by and goes, hey, Chris. I'm like, hi. He goes, oh, I watch your show. I love it. I said, what's your name? Hannes. Well, so I thanked him for that. And then I went to the car, got in the car. In the meantime, his friend was walking. It was too cold for him, so he just kept going. He caught up, and I went around the corner, came up. They were down the road a few hundred meters, and I pulled the window down. I said, you oaks look cold. Would you like a ride? And they're like, no, we're just going around the corner. So that was 2 times there. That's 3 times. Then I went to the Full Gospel Church in Parklands or something like that. That was hectic. All the way around the building, 2 and 3 people abreast, hundreds of people waiting, maybe 1,000 or more. And then they started doing a second queue around the building. And this was at 7:45 or 8 o'clock, something like that, 7:45, something like that. Crazy, crazy stuff. I'm standing in line. I'm doing a short, giving people an update about what's going on. And then I finished, and this young lady comes over to me. I thought she was working there. Was going to give me a hard time for being at the polling station, kind of like Donga, interfering with elections, which I wasn't. I don't know. I'm polite. And she said, "Are you on the internet?" And I said, "Not at the moment." No. Do you do something occasionally with Ronaldo? I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I know you." I said, "Well, thank you for watching." So I sent Ronaldo a note, and I said I was recognized, but not because of Chris Wyatt Africa, but because of your damn show. It was the fourth time. And then the fifth time I went to Tableview High School. In Tableview High School, there were 1,300 people in line. It was 8 o'clock. It was after 8, something like that. Anyway, it was pitch dark. People couldn't see me. So I was walking back. And when I got to the end where there was a street light in the corner, as I walked by, a gentleman said, "Hey, it's Chris Wyatt." And I said, "Yes, it is." And he recognized me. So that was 5 times tonight. 5 times all over Cape Town. Just noticed by people who recognize me from my program. So Putu, we know that you lie about the stats. We know that the numbers are much higher. It's impossible. If the odds of probability aren't that high, then I'm going to run into that many people unless people know who I am. So Putu, we don't sweat it. We just keep trying to build a subscriber base and let people know we're here. Right, so let me go back up what people are saying. All right, so where did I leave off at? So that's where I was. Rita, okay, got that. Emil, Bebop. Funny thing, there's no EFF or ANC flags at the polling station. Last election, EFF had a few cars around polling station. Yeah, Pip, I saw virtually no EFF presence. I did in Khayelitsha see a few places where they had volunteers, but at Parklands, they were gone. They gave up. They didn't even hang around. They left. It's crazy. They were gone. They left their signs there. But they just left. I guess they were bored. Some people were also turned away because voting boxes are full. That's just crazy. That you can't turn people away. That's not legal. The queue at Vitz was so Hopalong said that. Suleiman Manek says extremely high turnout in Escort. Thank you for that, Suleiman. Oh, Hundit, how you doing? Campuses, okay. When we were voted 94, we were in and out in 5 minutes. We went to the center of Joburg, Dornfontein, and most people rather went, okay, thanks for that, Levin. Helen Duplessis. Helen, how you doing? Are you still singing? I haven't heard from you in a while. Durban, parts of Western Cape, Eastern Cape are still using thousands in line. Yeah. Well, Bebop Williams, it was almost 9 o'clock. I was going to do my broadcast at 8 and say, hey, I'm live now, and the polls are still open for another hour, but I couldn't. The polls are still open, so I'm still going to the polls and observing what's going on and reporting on it up until almost 9 o'clock. And so now I can finally do a live stream. It's just hectic, absolutely hectic, folks. I mean, this is. Look, I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to see the results. And I think there's going to be a lot of gasps one way or the other. I mean, if the ANC does well, people are going to not believe it. If the MK, so we'll wait and see. Well, Hopalong, ANC, EFF, MK coalition. I call that the Armageddon coalition, and I think that's a disaster. Everything hinges on how many percentage the ANC gets. So let's not talk about coalitions until we have the numbers. All right, I did a video predicting potential coalition types, and I gave you 4 different types of coalitions based on the Brenthurst survey. But that was one survey over a month ago, so we'll have to wait and see. High turnout takes ANC down to 42. Well, Paul Joubert, my prediction in November of 2021 for the 231 people currently watching this program right now was what? My viewers can tell you, I said the ANC will get between 38 and 42% max in 2024 if it's a free and fair election. Now, I made that prediction in November 2021, and I've stood by my prediction. I haven't changed it, despite the polls, which are coming in line with what I said all along. We'll see if I'm right. I'm not going to say I'm right, but wouldn't that be amazing if I predicted 2.5 years in advance of the election and got it right? Wow. Durban part. Okay, so what else here? After Paul, we got Retox. A lot of people are having trouble trusting the IEC with how things are going. I don't blame you. I, of course, have exposed the IEC's arrogance, and specifically with the Forum for Democrats, a Tswana-based party in Northwest, in Zeerust, a party which was denied a seat on the Zeerust Council because someone erroneously gave the EFF in the municipal election, instead of 17 votes, there were 19 votes, and they only gave them 191 votes, and so they got a proportional seat that they weren't entitled to. Michael Atkins, an election analyst in South Africa, identified that problem, informed the IEC. They told him to Futsek. He informed the party. The party contacted the IEC, because they're not a big party with lawyers and money, told them to Futsek. I found out about it. I interviewed Michael Atkins. I interviewed Tabiso Morat-Bantwa from the Forum for Democrats. We talked. Of course, those you know me know that I have an affinity with the Tswana people. Again, Botswana, eh? So I interviewed him, found out the problem, and then I contacted a law firm in South Africa whom I know, and I asked if they knew anyone that was working elections law. They said they would put me in touch with a new civil rights group, and I held a Zoom conference. I hosted it with the lawyer, with the civil rights group, with the party, with the elections analyst, introduced everybody, got them all together, and then the civil rights group agreed to take up the case. It was their first case. They sent a letter from their lawyer to the IEC, which ignored the elections analyst and the political party that was registered in the election for weeks on end, finally responded within a day or two to the letter from the lawyer. Once they responded to the letter, they went and looked. They said, you're correct, it was an error. The EFF should not have gotten that seat. It should have gone to the Forum for Democrats under proportional representation. And so they told Zeros to remove the EFF counselor December 16th, 2021, 6 weeks after the election. Council refused. They didn't do anything. So the NGO went to court. The judge in February ordered the council to remove that person and put the counselor on from the Forum for Democrats. Come May, it hadn't been done. They went back to court. The judge said, I will dissolve the municipal council or something like that, take action against them. And finally, after 6 months of bullshit and the EFF person getting a salary they weren't entitled to, they finally put the Forum for Democrats on there. So when it comes to trust in the Independent Electoral Commission, I too don't trust them, particularly when it comes to independent candidates and small parties, because unless you have a bankroll, they don't care who you are. The IEC doesn't care who you are unless you're the ANC, the DA, the EFF, pretty much that's it. All right, so celeb status is Helen. Yeah, maybe. Okay, hit the 86 likes, cool. Good Bar Benny says voting South Africa is like giving birth to barbed wire and alcohol. I'm sorry to hear that, Good Bar Benny. That was so bad for you. Staying with my cousin. So Paul said that a high margin means the ANC's in trouble. Ndonga says the high margin means that the ANC wins. Neither one of you are correct, folks. You don't know what the high margin means. What I will tell you is this. If there's a low margin of votes in the Eastern Cape, in Northwest, Northern Cape, Mpumalanga, and Limpopo, the ANC is toast. They're already screwed in KZN. They're going to get toasted in KZN. They're going to get roasted in the Western Cape, despite their efforts trying to hoodwink people with their support for Gaza. So if there is a strong turnout in the Eastern Cape and traditional ANC rural strongholds, then they are able to staunch the bleeding. But they're still going below 50% either way. If there's a high turnout in the Western Cape, the ANC is freaking screwed. If there's a high turnout in KZN, we don't know what's going to happen. But the odds are it's not going to be for the ANC's favor. Joseph, staying with my cousin who is editor in one of the major newspapers, and she's getting constant updates. 65% plus predominantly white neighborhoods turnout. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. Well, Joe, you should tell your cousin who I am. You should tell your cousin who I am, and I'm happy to do an interview. I'm going to be interviewed on the radio here tomorrow, possibly. I'll let you guys know. And then there's a newspaper journalist who wants to talk to me as well. All right, so this thing jumped on me. Hang on a second. Hang on, let me get back here. The chat jumped up on me here, so. It's the beard that makes you... I know, Eric, it's the beard. That's so I can't shave it. So hope along, yeah. So I don't foresee an ANC, MK, EFF coalition. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it all hinges on what percentage those three parties get. Who is counting the vote? ZANU-PF, yes. No, they weren't accredited. Joe says, what's up, Democrats? Wow, there were people in the chat who voted in 1994. I wasn't born yet. Well, thank you, Hope Along, for sharing. I also voted. Now, my first time I voted was 1983. After I turned 18. Yeah, so yes. Helen says, all good, singing, editing, setting up parties. Well, that's awesome, Helen. I'm glad to hear you're keeping busy. Joe says, Erica, you're popular. They all seem to be elderly. Eric Borchardt, hey, been a while. But why does anyone also think that their vote matters? Is there always so much corruption? If corruption is so bad, who says that? All the IEC is, well, I mean, I'm not saying the IEC isn't corrupt. I mean, but they've been generally free and fair elections, as best we can tell. ANC's getting lower 40s and below is just daydreaming. Okay. Daydream believer and a homecoming queen. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen. So apparently Sleepy Jean is in the chat here, according to Ndonga. Hopefully DA is below 50% Western Cape and forcing the coastal with freedom. Well, we'll see. That's what the referendum party is hoping for, and I spent some time with them today, among others. 94 elections, we stood for hours in the hot Transvaal. Yeah, it was, Val. I know. That was an epic election. That's why I had to be here for today. I went and moved mountains to get here. I spent an absolute fortune on my ticket, which I can't sustain that. That's way too much money spent on a plane ticket. But it was important. I sacrificed a number of things, and I'm here. I had to rearrange my neurological appointment and another appointment to get them in July so that I could be here and not miss this. So, but my reward is the Stormers versus the Lions at DHL Greenpoint Stadium on Friday or Saturday. If anybody's going, let me know. I'll meet you at DHL Greenpoint on Saturday, as well as Loftus for the URC quarterfinal next week, and if they win, semifinal. And then meeting all you wonderful people. It's been fantastic. I'll tell you, it's awesome. All right, so what else we got here? Yeah, exactly. Hopalong says the EFF got 11% in 2019 in a country where the youth are 63% of the population. You call that resonate? Exactly. Thank you. See, Hopalong Ndonga doesn't like facts. He claims to be an attorney, but he doesn't like facts. Heinrich Vista said 94 vote in Cape Town. Okay. EFF 2 seats. Really? EFF represents the downtrodden. Read black. Yeah, so only poor people are black? Really? You sound like the Democrats. You sound like the Democrats in Donga. Christo De Beer said there are so many complaints and issues. People standing for hours and no movement. People standing in long queues at 8:30. IC was infiltrated by IC. I don't think that's the case, Christo. But then I wasn't in the entire country. What I can tell you is that it's a combination of poor planning, a combination of incompetence, and sometimes just good planning and a higher turnout than expected. All those things play a role. Now, maybe something untoward did happen, but I did not observe it. I can only tell you what I observed and give my analysis of what I think is happening. If South Africa collapses due to Armageddon coalition, please take me. Hope on, brother. I'll consider it. I'll consider it. We need to start a social media company that's for people who are genuine. The genuine social media company, we'll call it. Not Truth Social, but genuine media. That's what we'll call it. Hey, I just came up with an idea. I just need a few backers from the Western Cape. I met somebody today who's like Daddy Warbucks, who supports political parties. Maybe he can support my social media site. Well, we know the result. Hey, Radine, how's it going there? Salve. How's it going there in Italy? Forza Italia. I don't think we're going to know for a few days. Now, some of the party leaders, or a lot of the party leaders up in Gauteng, that's where I originally planned to be for this, but because my passport came so late in the game, I was only able to get to Western Cape. It wasn't time to get on up to Gauteng. And actually, I'm glad I was here because there's a dense concentration and a wide variety of polling stations and demographics. I was able to see all kinds of people today that I would have had a much bigger challenge doing if I was in Gauteng and had driven much further. So actually, it worked out very well to be in Western Cape. The banner outside just said Electoral Committee. Oh, really? No, it said independent ones I saw. EFF is growing every national general election, 6% in 2014, first instance 11% in 2019, and in 2024, 9%. Aaron says, salutated the Parklands voting. Said, Aaron, that's the Aaron I met who said that she saw me on Ronaldo. So, Aaron, it was lovely meeting you. Lovely young lady who came up to me when I was doing a short. Wasn't Aaron, that was hectic, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, that was so hectic. That queue all day long around the building in Parklands. Wow. By the way, I'm staying in Parklands. I'm not too far from there. So Nico Nell is here. Hey, it's been a while. Aaron, thank you. It's a pleasure. It's really cool to meet people and then have them come in the chat. That's awesome. Thank you, Aaron. I was talking about you earlier. I don't know if you were here then. I said that I met you. I said that, well, it was nice that you recognized me. It was because of Ronaldo. So I sent Ronaldo a nastygram. By the way, here, let me, I can't do it. It's on this phone, but I'll tell you what I did. Ronaldo, earlier today, I had stopped when I was with Action SA coming from Somerset West going to Khayelitsha. We stopped on the motorway. And they would need to get some petrol. So we went to the petrol station and I was fine. I had a full tank. I have a higher, picked up last night. So I went in and used the loo, came out, bought some Energade, and they had Lay's barbecue chips. Now, Ronaldo knows this deal. I love South Africa's, Lay's is an American brand from Frito-Lay. And the barbecue chips in the States are not that good that Lay makes, but the ones they make in South Africa have a different flavor. Oh my gosh. So I bought a bag of Lays while I was waiting for them because they took forever to pay for their fuel and everything. So I'm sitting there, I opened up the bag of crisp and I took one of them out and went, ah, South African Lay's barbecue chips. Yeah, bro. And I sent that to Ronaldo. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure you got a good laugh at it. Aaron, it's so good to see you. Thank you for popping in here. Joe Law. So you finally got the vote. That's cool. Robert ZA is back. Wow, a lot of folks haven't seen it while joking. Atheist is back. Hope everyone to vote. Colonel S. I live here in Parklands, but Ronaldo isn't why I know you. That's true, Dylan. I didn't realize you live in Parklands. Okay, no wonder Woodbridge is so close to you. By the way, folks, Friday night, we got 246 people here. I'm considering either at Woodbridge Island at Bosa, which where we traditionally do it, meet and greet Friday evening, maybe early evening. You know, you can stay later if you want, but I don't want to push people to come late. And then, or my preference is to do the Kapstadt Brauerei. And that's because I have rented a place to stay just down the street so I can enjoy myself drinking some Weizen, which I never do because I don't drink and drive. So I'm all for the Kapstadt Brauerei on Friday night. You can weigh in the chat if you'd like to come. Or which one you think is better, but I'm going to do a meet and greet. It's going to be epic. We're going to talk about the election. We should hopefully hear a little bit back by then, and we'll commiserate or celebrate or whatever it is. But I'm looking forward to a good meet and greet here in Western Cape. So anyway, they have fantastic beer, by the way. Drink and walk. That's what it is, Dylan. I drink and walk. Anyway, so what else we got here? Please tell Homeland you're my dad. Well, hope along. That depends on your skin hue. If it's brown, we can get away with that. If it's dark black, I'll have to claim that I adopted you. If you're white, I can get away with it. Joe Gates says, I'm glad you came to observe and report the elections. Hope after you attend, spend time enjoying. Look, I think I can say without a doubt, I could be wrong, but I suspect I'm the only self-funded independent journalist in the world who's come to South Africa and covered these elections. I could be wrong. There are journalists who came here who get paid by news outlets to come here, and there may be a few independent ones, but I'm not aware of them. But anyway, so I suspect. All right, see what else. Steenhuisen voting in Durban, that must tell us they think they have a chance. Oh, well, they do have a chance in KZN, Paul. They do. And it's because of Zulu voters who are going DA. Now, I can't give you a number and I can't make a prediction because I haven't been on the ground, but I have seen anecdotally what's going on there. And in no small measure, it's because the DA has been very successful in Umgeni, in Howick, under Chris Pappas and his deputy mayor. They've just been brilliant there. I have been to Howick three different times over 18 months, and every single time since the DA's taken over, that crap hole of a town has improved dramatically. And not a little bit, dramatically each time. It's become quite a lovely place. The informal settlement still exists. There's work being done there, but and people are talking about it, and they're talking about him. He's a really interesting guy. I interviewed Chris Pappas before anybody knew who he was, and I've interviewed him since he's become well known, and he's a premier candidate. So they're not going to win in KZN, I don't think. The DA had 15% last time. I think they could get maybe 20% if things go well, maybe a little bit more. But in KZN, the ANC is dead. They're toast. They screwed the pooch when they allowed an insurrection to take place and lives were destroyed, incomes, jobs, businesses totally obliterated in the ANC internal insurrection in 2021 when Zuma didn't go to prison on time and when Bekachile, the cat in the hat, the not a garden boy, failed to uphold the rule of law and arrest Jacob Zuma on the midnight on the 4th of July when he failed to show up at the Escort Correctional Facility. And also the police commissioner at the time was also supposed to do that. Anyway, yeah, so the ANC lost millions of votes there, a couple million votes, and those people aren't going to vote for them. A lot of them are going to vote for MK. So here's the reality in KZN, folks, and don't hold me to my prediction because I don't have a databasis to make this prediction, but I will say that it's very possible that the ANC goes from being the number one party in KZN to the number 2, 3, or even 4th largest party. If they're the number one party, then number 2 will be MK or DA. If they're the number 2 party, that's because they've been overtaken by the DA or MK. It's a very real possibility that MK in KZN could be the largest polling party, despite the fact that the party has no structure and it's imploding, and Jacob Zuma will not be in parliament. Despite that, people aren't going to vote. So the ANC is toast. In the Western Cape, the argument is, will the DA go below 50%? Very real possibility, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're going to stay at about 52%. But a lot of people want them below 50%. Whatever the case is, if they're not a majority, they'll be a coalition and have a majority that way. And then nationally, the ANC, 38 to 42%. I know that gives Ndonga chest pains, but that was my prediction in 2021. And if it's wrong, then it'll be wrong. But it was a bold prediction. All right, so what else? Patrick's here. Julius plays voters like a fiddle. Yeah, a lot of politicians play voters like a fiddle, like my opponent. Oh, look at that. Look, there's Paulie. And I'll read that. Well, I can verify that that's happening across Western Cape. He said 1,200 people in line at Brockenfell, apparently happening across South Africa. I see doing. Yeah, I can verify that. There were 1,200 people probably in line at Parklands. There were 12 to 1,400 people in line at 8 o'clock at the Table View High School. Yeah, and there were long lines all day long everywhere I went. All right, what else? So hope along. Look, brother. Listen, it's a hopeless thing. You're not going to argue. He's either trolling or he's delusional. So let me see. Hang on, let me get back to my chat. Really jumped ahead. He said, I gave you stats and data. You're giving me an unsubstantiated statement. Exactly. His feeling. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Charles Van Alsten, the voice of reason, is here. Where have you been hiding? Lukewarm, moderate party. They're a leftist party, Radine. They're a socialist party. Dave Ranke's back. Says, welcome back to South Africa. Thank you. Notice how many people are tuning in now because I'm in South Africa. I'm not getting the thumb down on it from the States. Ntokozo Nefix. MK is going to shock the world. I don't think so, Ntokozo. Good luck if you voted for MK. I think you're going to surprise South Africans in KZN. I think you could win. I think MK could win KZN. It's a very real possibility. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but it's possible. But you're not going to do well nationally. MK is going nowhere nationally. Trust me. That Zuma's support is overwhelmingly Zulu-based. And that while there are Zulu in Gauteng, and of course in KZN, where most of them are, that's not enough to overcome the rest of the country. So they're not going to be big. Dave Ranke says, appreciate you being here and sacrifice so much. No, it's my pleasure, Dave. It's important. Look, I mean, unless you're Shirley MacLaine or a Buddhist, you only get one go around in this life, right? You should make the most of it and leave the world a better place as best you can. That's my view on it. And I'm not a South African. I don't vote in South African elections. I don't own businesses in South Africa. I mean, why would I? Because they would just steal my equity and give it to someone based on their skin color. Talk about racist. But I also have tons of experience here, so I can speak objectively about it. So, Charles. Robert Zede says, what do you think about the OHM party? I tried to interview, I saw an interview on Penil with the woman Lauren Bernardo, who's the leader of the party. I didn't realize she was married to Odez. Odez is persona non grata with me. The man is a useless troll in my view. His behavior was reprehensible in lying and claiming a copyright for something he didn't have and got me a strike a few years ago on a video that didn't belong to him. He lied to YouTube and I refuted it and they blew me off. I didn't know they were married. I asked to interview her before I knew that, and I'll still interview her. But the party has, fantasy ideas about how elections work and how governance should work. If she wants to try that, she should buy land in the Northern Cape and establish a corporation, incorporate it, invite people who share your values for the one humanity part movement, whatever, and then have your governance that way and test it and see if it works. But it's not going to work in a country of 63 million people. You can't have true democracy in that way. You can only have it in a small town. It doesn't work. So I'm happy to interview them, but they never responded to my email, so not much I can do there. Zulu voters don't vote DA. Umgani has only 2 people. Dong is just being funny now. Arbot's here. Okay. Oliver, can't wait for a socialist state. Okay. Miss Pumbaa's back. Hey. Okay, apparently lots of people were turned away from voting for John Steenhuisen because he wants to ban shredded cheese. Steenhuisen wants to make South Africa great Great again. Ha ha ha. At least he uses stats and logic. Okay, yeah. Okay. Ian Cumming, welcome to you. Dave Ranke. There are people in my area that only got one ballot. That is very fishy. Everyone was supposed to get 3 ballots. If you didn't get 3 ballots, you were defrauded. I can say that unequivocally. If you didn't get 3 ballots, you must go tell someone in the press, identify who you are, and tell someone. Yep, this must be known if that's true. If it's just a rumor, then it's just a rumor. JS says, have any voter turnout predictions been released thus far? No, just the IEC said the voter turnout is high. Yep. They tell the presiding officers to drop their faulty scanners and use manual voting to assist in long queues. Yep. Khayelitsha resident Funeka Soldat said she felt proud after voting in White House in Makaza. Getting up early in the morning on election day was exciting for me. Being among many voters that came out was very special, even though the lines were very long. It didn't matter. People were happy. There was music playing, people dancing, singing before going inside to vote. True. So I saw in Khayelitsha. She said the atmosphere was so electrifying that no one noticed the center opened a few minutes late. Well, I wasn't at that center. They opened 20 minutes later. Well, that's wrong too. 20 minutes late, that's unacceptable. My polling station has never opened late in the 4 elections I was a judge. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. And if it did it, then you should sack me. That's unacceptable. You don't do that to people. She said a few people were unhappy. There were political parties who wore their party regalia while voting. Okay, I don't know the law in South Africa. I think I do because election officials told me, but I have never researched it. In Pennsylvania, you can wear party regalia when you vote, unless you're a candidate. The candidate can't do that. You have to be in normal clothing. And you can't campaign within a certain distance. Now, nobody was campaigning within that certain distance in any polling stations I saw today, so they're good. But at one polling station, I know that candidates were told they couldn't go in with their regalia on, but private citizens could. And that's what the rule is in the States, at least in Pennsylvania. He said some people didn't like that, but it wasn't a big deal. It was sorted out after everyone aired their opinion. Okay, cool. The IEC has confirmed in writing that voters in queues at 9 o'clock must be assisted. All voters that are in the queue, whether or not they're inside the voting stations, must be assisted. Please share this far and wide. That's according to the DA. They just put that out. Of course, that's not news to us. If you're in the queue, stay in the queue. It's 9:53 now. Don't leave. They must allow you to vote. Do not go away. It said South Africa's worth rescuing a long vote, and this is from the DA. Okay. The IEC sent out a letter to the voting stations to deal with long queues. They were urged to use manual voting processes where issues with the voter management device were experienced. All voters in the queue, whether or not they're inside the voting stations, must be assisted at 9 o'clock. Security officers must stand at the end of the queue to stop new voters from joining the queue. And that's exactly how it's supposed to happen. At our polling stations, we have a constable, and he shuts the line down at the closing time. Okay? All right, let me get back to the comments over here before I get too far behind. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it, folks. Okay, so Gainey may have 2 voters, but they voted DA. Ian says, I had to fight for my local voting papers, held a queue for 5 minutes. Oh, okay, well, I'm glad you got them, though. We know the results on Sunday. That's what SABC News said. Look, I was at SABC's building today. They're just a propaganda outlet. You can't trust them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, folks, if you're unhappy with somebody in the chat, you can right-click on the little 3 radials next to their name. Right-click on that, and you can block them. You don't see their chat, okay? Paulie gave a super chat of 200 rand. Says, Jordan Hill Lewis just posted an X on a video 5 minutes ago. Must be 1,200 people in line still at Brockenfell. Apparently happening across South Africa. IEC doing ANC dirty work. Very sad. Multiple videos on Twitter. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of complaints about the IEC in this election. Arctic. Ron is in from Bloemfontein. Here we go. There. Garrett. LL Entertainment. Gosh bless it. This chat just jumped up again. I got to go way back here. Okay. Well, really way behind here. Sorry, on the chat. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yes, they are. You're fishing your... Oh, it's okay. Paulie, this is what I mentioned earlier, says Bebop. Okay. Free and fair. Xanu PF said so. Arctic. C. Kelly says Auckland Park. Auckland Park. I don't know where that's at. Nico says, sorry, a bit late with the goings on. What are you up to, sir? Well, 10 polling stations in the Western Cape today. M135, how's it? How are you? We're called many West Germans fleeing east. No, there weren't many. Money will leave the country and there will be nothing to share. Yep. There'll be nothing left to rob. Christian Bota says somebody get a 1 or 2%. This election feels like the Rugby World Cup. The coalition, the DA, Freedom Front and Action SA, and the rest is going to take this election by 1 point. Okay, what else? Okay. Hope Along says Texas, Florida. I don't live in Texas, Florida. Too damn hot, too humid in both places. Bebop says north suburbs of Cape Town, some in Durban, Germiston, thousands waiting to. Yeah, no, I was there, guys. I was in northern suburbs. I'm in Parklands. I was at the Parklands, one of the Parklands polling stations, and there were 1,200 people there at 8 o'clock, and there were 1,400 people at the Table View High School because I went there afterwards, after 8 o'clock. Emil says my 9-year-old might force me to drive to Cape Town to meet and greet. He's desperate to meet you. Oh, Emil, where are you driving from? Because, I mean, I might be able to do a meet and greet a little closer to you. Last time I went all the way up to Iserfontein and nobody showed up for the meet and greet. And I went all the way up to Veldrecht because people asked me to go to Veldrecht. But 15 people showed up there. It was really awesome. Paul Joubert said, in the IC is saying first results at 1 a.m. Exactly. We'll know the final results on Sunday, but we're going to get partial results as time goes on. By the way, I'll be up at 1 a.m. because I have my radio program in the States. So I'll be up for an hour tonight at 1 a.m. Dave says, you're not KZN this time. Next time. I don't know if I'm going to make KZN. Everything hinges on whether I hear back from Vinant Dutoy. Vinant is looking at if they want me to come up to Uppington for a visit. It costs me a lot of money to fly up there. So, and I don't know anyone up there other than Vinant in Uppington. So I like going up there, but I'm not going to make a trip up there unless it's worthwhile. And I can't plan the rest of my trip until I know that, because I'm not going to go from here to Tambo, then go down to KZN, then go back to Uppington, or go to Eastern Cape and back and forth. So I need to know that. As of right now, my trip is booked through Sunday, the 9th, I think it is, whatever it is, through the 8th, because I'm be at the quarterfinal Loftus. But after that, it's all wide open. I have some ideas, but I'll set. I don't know if I'm going to get to KZN this time, though. I might fly down. Those flights aren't too bad. Anyone have the load shedding skips? Joe Neiman wants to know about load shedding. Oh, yeah, folks, the 29th is over. Load shedding is back. Pierre Robon says, welcome back. Okay. Thanks for the poll. Okay. So, again, Nonga spreading fairy tales. The DA is a majority colored party, so you're calling all coloreds racist. I don't think they'll appreciate that. Okay. Eternal Scholar. No, it's actually a cappuccino. My host offered me a cappuccino. So I drank a Red Bull full of caffeine. Now I'm drinking a cappuccino full of caffeine. It's not a rooibos. Rooibos is my favorite tea. Robert says, thanks for your answer. Didn't know you had issues. I don't have issues with Odez. A couple of years ago, he was having issues with someone else. And then I did a video when he and Debbie Ells were assaulted by the police at Sea Point or Green Point, one of the two, Green Point. They were beaten. And somebody posted a video on Twitter, and I used that and gave that person credit. And I gave a 6-minute analysis of what the police had done, how it was inappropriate, how it violated law, yada, yada, yada. Odez claimed that was his video, but it's a lie. On his channel, below the video, he pinned a comment thanking one of his viewers for telling him where he could find that video. He never indicated whether he purchased the video, he licensed the video, he paid the people for the video, he got their permission. But then he fraudulently claimed it was his video. And I was issued a 1-week strike on my channel and couldn't broadcast for a week because of that piece of feces. I have his contact. He has my contact because in 2020, people asked me to interview him. I didn't know who he was. So I wrote to him. He agreed to come on the channel. And then he just backed out and ignored me. No problem. He doesn't owe me anything. He doesn't have to come on my channel. I had no hard feelings. No problem. So he has my contact. And then he gives me a strike without writing to me and saying, hey, listen, you used my content. Could you just remove it? Well, first off, he's a liar. It wasn't his content. It was someone else's content. And I got a strike for it. So I don't have a problem with him. Just he's useless. I don't like people who are liars. Anyway, but I don't have an issue with him, Robert. I love Howard. Lovely small town, improving daily. Exactly, Laudine. 100%. What else? South election law does not allow party gear unless it's ANC colors. Section 24A, one ballot if you're voting in a province, you're not registered. Okay, LL. That's there. See, thank you for that, LL. There was some confusion in how the laws work. And there's also some confusion. Surprisingly, some people didn't know they're getting 3 ballots. That was a surprise, too. I mean, some people actually didn't know that. Are you in Pennsylvania? I live in Pennsylvania, but I'm in Cape Town at the moment. Is it a nice state living with kids? Yeah, most of America is a nice place to live with kids. Stay out of urban centers. You'll be great. Jonathan said, I voted PA and MK. Well, congratulations. open on time, stick to the law. Yes, I will, as a judge. What else we got here? I saw 2 videos where police caught box of votes inside 2 members' homes. It's not good. Wolf, I haven't seen that, and I would be very circumspect about videos circulating. Just because you see a video, unless you see the metadata with that video, when it was recorded, where it was recorded, those things, I would be very suspicious of those things. I have intentionally stayed off of X today because that stuff is circulating all over. It may be true, but without corroboration, all kinds of stuff. Remember when the campaign started, the conflict in Ukraine? When I went live that evening, people were sending me videos of Russians being crucified by Ukrainians in the Donbass. And it was true, except it occurred in 2014, not in 2022. So people are trying to stoke trouble. Nadi Khan says, welcome back. It's in 10 minutes. Okay, it's still Fontaine. Thank you, Nadi, for that update. That's pretty cool. I do like Chris Pappas, says Robert. Yeah, I like him too. Fleshman's estimated time for overall result, Sunday, I believe, is when it's probably going to get it. Okay, and this thing jumped on me again. I got to go back. Boy, now we got people back and forth. Let's keep the insults down. Just because you're using Nguni language doesn't mean I can't tell you're insulting people. Trojan Proxies, Richard here. We had a chat at the table view voting station. It was a real pleasure to meet you tonight. Thank you for the early update tonight. Love your channel. Hey, that's another. So we had Aaron earlier. Now we have Trojan Proxy. Richard, he was one of the people I met tonight. And yeah, under the light as I walk back. It was a pleasure meeting you, Richard. Thank you so much. Bye bye, donkey. Quelle boy. And I'm glad you like the channel. Please tell other people about it. That really helps out. Yeah, and so that was pretty cool. When does the counting start tonight? Well, I don't know, Joe. Hey, Joe, how long did you finally wait? There's Joe Emilio, folks, a candidate for the referendum party, and our friend Dodgy Joe. We love Joe. The Texan/Egyptian/South African. I think the only one in the world. Okay, so, last one before I head. Watch the media briefing, and a candidate had a voting station in his house. Cannot remember where it was. What? Okay, now, see, I don't know anything about that. That's interesting. What else? IC app is terrible. Yes, it is. Okay. Great work, sir. Any plans to the Free State? Nico, I don't know. The Free State is a tough get. Maybe I'll do it if I could fly down there, because I'll tell you, that is a long drive. That drive is like, going from Pretoria down to Bloemfontein, man. That's brutal. I don't think I'm going to get to Clarence this time because Paul's not there, and I have an open invitation to visit his mom anytime, and that's nice. She's a nice lady, and she speaks Afrikaans to me, so that's lovely. But it's not anything for me to do there this time. Dylan's at Parklands at 11 a.m., okay? All day yesterday, I was convinced that I was going to vote DA. However, I switched last minute to vote Action SA. I felt... Are you serious, Joking Atheist? That's interesting. Yeah, Action SA may do better than... Now, Action SA might be a dark horse. Here in the Western Cape, I was surprised at the level of support they were getting. I expected in Gauteng, but not here. Okay. I'm in Tulba, 130 miles from Cape Town. Paro, Stellenbosch should be very doable. Okay, Emil. I've done meet and greets in Paro. Maybe I can do one. Maybe not this week, or actually I could probably do one. I'm staying in Somerset West Monday and Tuesday night before I fly out. Maybe I can do it. I have to look and see a Tuesday afternoon or something like that, or early evening. But I have no problem doing Pearl. Rocco Mamas is in Pearl. We've done one there before. It went pretty well. The dog did load shedding in my room. Erica Kameh. Red Bull, your age, you better hope that CIA health plan. By the way, Hendo put in the group today, he said, worst CIA secret agent ever. It's like the colonel's walking down the street in a residential neighborhood. People are walking by going, hi, Chris. The worst CIA agent ever. How stupid do the eucalyptus chewing down under sycophants look? Hey, CIA. Charles said his wife got assaulted there too. Got assaulted where? Who are we talking about? Joe Law says, thanks for what you're doing. Much appreciated. It's my pleasure. Call me Novak. Oh my goodness. There's the voice I recognize. Haven't seen Call Me Novak in a while. Felt Action SA more close in line. Well, Jokey Atheist, you vote for who your conscience tells you to vote for. And Donga is voting for MK, ANC, and EFF. He's got 3 ballots. He gets 3 choices. Don't have heart. Look, I'm inured to caffeine, folks. Caffeine doesn't do much to me. Personally, think that the PA is going to surprise. Dave, a lot of people are saying that, but I'll tell you, maybe they will, but I don't know where. I don't know where. I didn't see PA posters in Khayelitsha anywhere. Anywhere. The first time I saw a PA poster was in Monenberg. Then I saw a poster at Parklands. That's it. I didn't see anybody trying to get any PA voters anywhere. I was surprised. Crimpus Maximus, Father Christmas in the house. Welcome. Okay. And Ndonga, people do write Afrikaans on the channel. If you want to write in Zulu, feel free. It's your pleasure. Just don't be disrespectful. Everybody's saying hi to each other here. Okay. All right. I'm offended if you don't like Texas. I didn't say I like Texas. I said it's too hot, too humid. Okay. What else you got here? Jumped on me again. Okay. Hopelang Lakota says, I just respond. Maybe you understand. I'm not even Zulu. I'm Swana. Hey, what's the Healy Jang, eh? Kitsi Healy Sentley. I'm well. I didn't realize that, Hopelang. The name kind of made me think it was either that or Basutu. Helen says, the load shedding started. I don't know. Did your stream die? We're under 200 now. Okay. ANC will win this election. Okay, well, good. Dream on. Dream Weaver. Dream a little wing. Weave a little dream for me. Ursula's back. I wish people would quit saying the ANC and DA are the same. No, they're not. They're not even remotely the same. But they're both left of center. The ANC is so far left of center, it's communist. And the DA is left of center socialist, trending socialist. They love state-owned enterprises. They love government control. But they're a far better alternative. Email says that would be awesome. What would be awesome? Parl? You need to come back to Cape Town before you leave. Yes, of course, Erica. This is where I have to fly out of, so I'll come back here sometime. Odez's wife was assaulted by staffs at Sea Point a while back next year. Okay, I don't know, Charles. That day, Debbie Ells and Odez were assaulted, and I saw the video, and I used it. Call Me Novak got engaged. Ooh, no wonder you've been busy. Call Me Novak. Okay. Well, there you go. Congratulations, Call Me Novak. Arctic is trying to be a smart aleck and say, if caffeine does nothing for you, then give it up for 28 days. I've done it. I've gone without caffeine. It's like I used to, what's this? You want my predictions? I'll get to that shortly. There was times I drank 12 cans of Coca-Cola, 330 milliliters per day. And you notice I'm not obese. I have a high metabolism. I burn through the sugar. And I just get sick of Coke after a while. I just give it up. And I didn't drink tea, didn't eat chocolate, didn't have cocoa. So I just give it up. So, I can give up caffeine when I want. So I don't drink coffee. I mean, cappuccinos. The only time I drink that stuff is when I'm in South Africa. The rest of the world doesn't know how to make cappuccinos. All right. Okay, you two. I got two dogs in here. Hey, knock it off. All right. So, hey, how you doing, Rosie? A dog here this morning. I ignored her because I had to leave. So I came back to, she's my friend. She had an attitude. She ran down the hallway, growled at me and barked. And I said, come here. And I walked towards her. She ran out of the way and she growled at me. And I just started ignoring her. And 20 minutes later, she came over and sat at my feet. All right. Where are we at here in the chat? Bossoff says to you, is South Africa election much like USA elections? There are similarities, but there are big differences too. Any predictions on the voting results? Well, Nico, I have said since November of 2021, the ANC 38 to 42%. I'm going to say 42% based on recent events. At the national level, DA 23 to 27% if they do very well. The IFP 3 to 5%. The Free Different Plus 2%. The EFF 7 to 9%. If they're very lucky, 10%. And that leaves, who does that leave? Action SA, they can get 3 to 5%. PA, 2% nationally. Best case, probably 1%. And then all these other parties, dogs. All these other parties are going to get nothing. So that's my thoughts on that. Wolf says, agree, Chris. Thanks for your explanation. You're welcome, Wolf. I'm not sure what explanation it was a little while ago. These videos online and what's going on is insane. Just saw a video of Coles River. It looks like 2,000 people. Yeah, no, Paulie, I'm telling you, man. Here, where the voting stations were mostly competent, people waited forever. Yep, it's crazy. Somebody please buy a huge tomahawk steak for Chris. When does the counting start? That's what Joe asked. It depends who's getting paid. Chris is here. Hey, Chris, how's it going? What else? Dodgy Joe belongs in the bride party. They would call the referendum party the bride party. Tunis Victor, over 2 hours with two small kids in tow was not great. Scanners kept failing. I'm so sorry to hear that, Tunis. Yeah, that sucks. How old are the kids? Hold on, if you type Zulu, just put English. Okay. Joe says 3.5 hours. Oh, I was going to go stand in the queue with Joe. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have stuck with Joe for 3.5 hours. I wasn't voting. I would have gone on. Okay. Action SA, ACDP, and AFC seem to have aligned manifestos. Yes, Charles, they do. They do. Very much in agreement. Has the shedding started? ANC will win this election. Okay. I wish people would quit. Okay, I was there already. Emil says that'd be awesome. Okay, I already saw this stuff. Okay. Any thoughts or feelings about U.S. election? Nico, yeah, Donald Trump, free and fair election, wins the election hands down. He is running away with 5 to 6 battleground states that are crucial. He's wrapped up Texas. He's wrapped up Florida. New Jersey's actually in play. I don't think he's going to win New Jersey, but he could win New Jersey. That would be shocking. Be the first time the Republicans won that in ages, since Reagan, I think. And it jumped again on me. Chad is really, okay, yes, Rosie, I see you, sweetheart. How's it going there? Okay. Valley Meyer says, welcome, General Chris, to South Africa. Hope you enjoyed here. I wish I was a general. The pay would be better. Experimental CQDX. Wife and I polling stations were split in 2 locations. A week ago, we were meant to vote. That's hectic. I'm sorry to hear that. That's just crazy. Yeah, no, I know. Hopelang, I know that. Hey, Kemotswana. Yes, you're pronouncing it well. Thank you. Hopelang, where are you at? Are you in Zeerust, Rustenburg, Mafeking? Majority wants ANC rule. Okay. Yes, it does. What's this? Okay. What else? I'm a milkshake man. My milkshake. That's getting me on a rap song there. Okay. Jury deliberations continue tomorrow in the Trump trial. Oh, good Lord. Okay, what else? If I missed your chat, I'm sorry, but my chat keeps bouncing up and down. I'm trying to catch all of them as possible since we have a lot of people in here tonight on this wrap up the elections. After I get through the chat here in a minute, I'm going to go back and cover the information I covered a while ago because people came in later. Okay. What did Chris say? Oh, 3rd language in school, yeah. Okay. Hey, Hester's here. 30 minutes, okay. And Larry supports the party. Milkshake Santa. Okay, so let me just run through now because people are coming in late. Hopelan says, I am in Krugersdorp. Okay. All right. Oh, your family's from Rustenburg. Krugersdorp, isn't that where they murdered, what's his name, from the AVB? When they killed him? Wasn't he killed near Krugersdorp? Such a quiet voting station, queued for 3 minutes. Apparently, all we need to go where Vesalema is at. That's amazing. Heard people saying, oh, yeah, I was there. What about the OHM party? I mentioned OHM party earlier, Kinnear. I don't know much about them. I asked to interview their leader, Lauren Bernardo, and I didn't get a response. But they're probably busy. So, I mean, that's not a dig at them. All right, so today I went to Somerset West. I started in the morning from there. Went to 5 polling stations in Khayelitsha. So LMC, eat your heart out. Oh, Chris, you don't go where black people live. I do it all the time. I just don't broadcast it because what's the point? Because it gives you chest pains. Five places in Khayelitsha, then to Manenberg, and I did all of those with Action SA. So Somerset, 5 stations, and then Rondebosch, that's 7. Then I went to Rondebosch on my own. After Rondebosch, I went to Sea Point. Both those places I saw the referendum party. I interviewed Phil Craig. Then I went to Parklands, and then I finally went to Tableview. And in every one of those places, people were professional, polite, respectful. The volunteers were very good and helpful. Many of the stations, the elderly, the infirm, pregnant women were taken to the front of the queue by election workers. Some places they weren't, they were neglected. Of course, that was later in the day. People probably getting tired and weren't focused. But the queues were hectic, insane all day long, all over the region. Henrico Radowitz says, hi from Pretoria, welcome. Okay, so that was going on. Some polling stations, the lines were quick, but the queues were long. Quick. I mean, one place I went to, the queue was hundreds of people, but I'm asking people how long they waited. They only waited 15 or 20 minutes. They got through very fast. But then you had other places like the Tableview High School, which people waited 2 hours because there's only 2 freaking tablets. It's just insane. It's insane. Charles says, call BS. Okay, AW was killed. Oh, Ventusdorp. Thank you, call me Novak. Yeah, I thought it was Kriegersdorp. It's Ventusdorp. Okay, you're correct. Yeah. Eugene Terblanche. Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy. I lived just down the road in Botswana when that happened. Leah Menar's here. Welcome. Okay. Stunder, the infamous bank robber, came from Kriegersdorp. There you go. I forgot about that, Chris. Thank you for that. Yeah. Myra made lots of friends at the polling station. Well, I ran into lots of viewers at the polling station. That was pretty crazy. That was pretty awesome. We waited for 2 hours in Pretoria. Oof. Yeah, no, we got stories of people waiting 6 hours today or longer, and there are people still in the queues right now. It is now, 10 o'clock, 10:17. There are people still in the queue in the Western Cape. And apparently in Gauteng and other places, people are still in the queue. That is crazy. Julie's just checking to see how the elections are going. Well, Julie, looks like a big turnout in parts of the country, if not the whole country. Hopefully the turnout in the Eastern Cape is suppressed. In Mpumalanga, Limpopo, and Northern Cape, hopefully the turnout there is low. Because if it's low, that means the ANC is screwed. 40 minutes in Rondebosch. Okay, thank you, call me Novak. Somebody was slapped in New York. News to me, I don't know who that was. 5 minutes, says Dylan, that's crazy. Why is everyone slandering Kriegersdorp? I'm not slandering Kriegersdorp. Got at the polling station 4-7, left at 9:45. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you, Paulie. By the way, for those who don't know, I had an article published in the Daily Friend today about South African-U.S. relations. The Institute for Race Relations very kindly published my story, and I thank them for that. And it was timely. It was today. This is when it had to run because it talks about the elections. So where the heck is it? Here you go. And the article is called Friend or Foe. And hang on a second. Let me get onto the Wi-Fi so I'm not using my data here. So Friend or Foe. There you go. On the Daily Friend. I don't know. That looks like it's backwards, doesn't it? Are you guys reading that properly? I don't know if that's backwards or not. Friend or Foe. Anyway, so yeah, that's my article in the Daily Friend today. It was pretty cool. So yeah, they jumped right on that. They liked it. So cool. Please check it out. The link is in the WhatsApp group for this trip, and also the regular WhatsApp groups. I don't have it handy here. Let me see if I send it to myself. I might be able to get it for you real quick. I think I sent it to myself. If I did, I can get it from my laptop because that's here. Yes, I can. Give me a moment and I'll have it for you. Because my mods are distracted. So here, let me copy. How am I going to do this? Shoot. Oh, no, I'm going to have to. I can't do it. Wait, no, I can do it. I'm sorry. What am I thinking here? I can do it here. So hang on. Oh, there it is. Someone else just did it. Okay. There it is. Hendo put it up there. Oh, Hendo's awake. Okay. He's in the UK. It's not late there yet. Stephen Lobster said, waited 90 minutes in the southernmost tip of Africa. Okay. Rita said, I read it accurate as usual. Thank you, Rita. Appreciate that. I think a lot of people will discover my channel because of that, which was pretty cool. You guys are dumping Krugersdorp. An hour wait in Johannesburg, Cresta area, constant queue. Samantha Holm. Thank you, Samantha. Bye-bye, donkey. That's very kind of you. Yep. Nico found it. Okay, cool. Yep, cool. Yeah, Hendo did it, says Charles. I had clients from Krugersdorp that forged coins. 30 drums of coins. Wow. Okay. We're not distracted. We're multitasking and aren't allowed to play Whack the Troll anymore. You're allowed to whack the troll. If it's a real troll. You guys can just ignore Ndonga. He'll get tired. Anyway, look, you got to feel bad for Ndonga, ladies and gentlemen. When the ANC falls out of power, he's going to have, look, we'll have to invite him to the Kapstadt Brauerei, buy him a couple rounds, because he's going to be heartbroken. That's too funny. Okay. What did Jan Fion say? Oh, so he took a wrong turn in 1973. Oh my goodness. Anyway, folks, it's been an epic day. I did shorts today. If you want to watch and see how the day went along, just watch them in sequence. Hopefully it went new galaxies. Applauding, thank you there. Kids bite the dogs. Oh my God. Folks, beware Krugersdorp. It's going badly here. Oh my goodness. Dinner and posting. Pip Jakob says, good night, have to work tomorrow. Yeah, people gotta go back to work tomorrow. I have to be up at 1 o'clock in the morning, so the new galaxy is well done and getting back to South Africa is my 4th trip. August 2022, January, February 2023, July, August 2024, and now May, June of 2020. Wait a second. 2022, and 2 times 2023, and this year in May. So yeah, it's my 4th one. So what did M135 say? You guys are hitting it tonight. The chat is funny. You learned to leave the skateboard outside. When you return, it's standing on brakes. Yeah, Erica, wrong phone, exactly. Veronica Carsel says all the room temperature IQs will vote against. We had ANC representatives just leaving their post. And yeah, no. They look, I mean, other than Khayelitsha, and unfortunately I can't show you because it's on this phone, but I will load it up and you can watch the video later on. But somebody voted 3 times, took the whole family as I'm uber great experience, polling station, busy all day. Thanks, Jeffrey. Yeah, no, but there's lots of dancing, people having a good time there. But all the parties. But it's the only place, the other place that the ANC was subdued everywhere. The EFF was almost non-existent. To be fair, the ACDP, I only saw them in 2 places, 10 stations, 2 places. They should have been all those polling stations. Yep. Question, does anyone know where one can buy licorice flavored ice cream? I have no idea. No idea. You're welcome, M135I. What did you say that got people cracking up? I didn't see that. It's not showing up on my screen. Anyway, all right. I think people are dropping off. You're past your bedtime. A bunch of old farts, man. R1 says, a bit frustrated. My sister, she couldn't vote because she only had her passport. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. You can't vote with passport? In Pennsylvania, any photo ID will work. And in fact, in Pennsylvania, you don't even have to have photo ID. It's a stupid law. You can just bring a utility bill. That's crazy. Yeah, I heard they ran out of thumb ink in many places. In Krugersdorp, not using hammer. Stop it, Gary. Dylan says they're eating KFC. The kids bite the dogs in Krugersdorp. Yes, I know, Charles. I read that earlier. All the psychiatric hospitals in Krugersdorp, too. Oh, my goodness. You guys are having oh gosh. All right. This pastor's psycho sister stole my ID. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. Radine says, I know you won't like this, but I voted South African elections. Radine, I don't care. You're a South African. You can vote South African elections. Why would I not like it? 172 likes. That's pretty good. 3:30 Missouri, time for an afternoon nap. My goodness, Arctic. What are you doing in Missouri? Did you fly to St. Louis? Hopelag is getting even. He says those you are slandering Krugersdorp will have an ANC EFF coalition. Wait a second. Sterkfontein is a psychiatric hospital? I thought it was where the cradle of humankind was at, Sterkfontein. You guys are killing me. Krugersdorp is better than Brockpen. That's like saying MK is better than EFF. That's a song, Psycho Killer. Thoughts on next leadership candidates. James, if the MPC somehow miraculously is in control, Velenkosini Labisa is the next president, although Helen Zilla assures us it's John Steenhuisen. We'll see. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it's hard to say. We have to wait and see, get some results in first. I went to Spar at lunch. There were 20 ANC volunteers buying supplies for Brian. They were all massive dudes. I wonder who's left the polling station. Got to polling station at 7, was done at 7:15. Wow. The mankind they found there escaped from Sterkfontein. You're killing me. You guys are killing me tonight. It's too much. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyway, all right. But stop. That's gonna remember that bit that the guys from Cape Town did during COVID, and they played the different variants of COVID. Oh my goodness. And the guy said, because he's no longer the lead, Omicron was the new version or something like that. And he said, well, somebody mentioned me in Benoni today. Oh, in Hauteng. Anyway, I wrote my bed at home. It was my first visit. What? Oh, they came to visit you, Leah says. Okay. Sorry for this, but George Floyd documentary. Is there? Are you asking me to make one, or is there one, Nico? Oh my goodness, they're still in the Kriegersdorp thing. Unlike the ANC, will take refuge to. Talking Heads remind me of varsity days. Okay. Anders from Modern Talking is Cape Town currently. Oh, really? Wow. Modern Talking. Wow, I love Modern Talking. You're my heart, you're my soul. I keep it shining everywhere I go. Cherry, cherry lady. Modern Talking was the bomb, man. They were awesome. Ah, you're my heart, you're my soul. We played some cool stuff back then. We had Opus. La 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 la. La 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 la. Life. Life is life. We all have the power. We all and everyone and everything and everybody singing, life is life. Well, today I felt like I was off on the road to Morocco, but I was actually on the road to Somerset West. Boy, what's with people on the highway going 50 kilometers when the speed limit is 120? I experienced that a couple times today. Yeah, live is life. Opus. Those guys are still belting that out at their age. Okay. Charlize is from Benoni. Well, that makes sense. Charlize Theron is from Benoni. It all makes sense now. Benoni, Brockman, same thing. Ooh. What's right next to Brockenfell? What's the place next to Brockenfell? Just northeast of it. Ooh, that place has got a bad reputation too. Hang on a second. I'm drawing a blank right now. I know what it is. Hang on. Maps. Give me maps here. Maps. Someone will try to figure out what I'm guessing at here, but I'll get in the meantime. Charlize. Charlize Theron. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit here. Place always gets dissed on. Okay, come on. Come on, where are you at? Oh, Kraaifontein. That's the place. People are always dumping on Kraaifontein. That's what I'm thinking of. Yep. They're always saying bad things about Kraaifontein. Anyway. Yep. Anyway. Have another cappuccino. Hey, Layla. I'm on a roll. You guys are all. I'm out of order. You're out of order. The chick who said, like, only 4 people still speak Afrikaans. Oh, Charlize Theron? Yeah, she's an idiot. Yeah, do you want to sing a bit of ABBA? Waterloo, think of me, babe, whenever you. Money, money, money. It's a rich man's world. Ah, I love ABBA. Durbanville, Belleville, Cape Flats. Charles failed geography, apparently. Okay. This has taken a very sideways twist here, folks. We're having fun, but we've had quite a sideways twist. Listen, South Africa, congratulate yourself. Yes, there are hiccups. There are people still in the queue at this hour. The media is going to talk about this all day tomorrow, if not tonight, about how many people are still waiting, how mess-ups took place. But congratulate yourselves. Most people that have been on here, I'd say 75 to 80% of the people on here had a good experience. Most of the people came on here were done in less than an hour. That's a pretty good outcome for a country that's third world. Did I say that out loud? Sorry. No, for a developing country, that's pretty good. Wait till we see what happens in India. They got 1 billion people voting there. Yep. Saw Modern Talking live in '87. Oh my goodness, that must have been amazing. That must have been amazing. The Good Hope Center in Cape Town. I didn't realize they came to South Africa. Most people here talking cock about can't afford to live. Loretha Duplessis. I'm from Noord-Kwijvel in Krugersdorp. Since 2016, I've been teaching English in Moscow. Wow. Okay. I can't go to Russia. I've never done anything wrong, but I was an intelligence officer in the Army. I'm sure they'll use me as a hostage. They'll claim I was spying if I go there. So I was going to go for the Winter Olympics in Sochi, but they wouldn't let me go. And Charles says, wow, third world, what an upgrade. Yeah, James, seriously, somehow give yourself a salute. It's, look, I mean, again, it's just anecdotal. I was at 10 polling stations spread around the Cape Town metropolitan area, all ethnicities, all walks of life, all income levels, very wealthy to the abject poverty. And smooth, mostly, but a lot of people queuing up. Wow. Wow. Okay, good night, Leah. Okay. It is 10:30 now here. I usually stay on the East Coast, but I'm back in South Africa. I did hear they keep an eye out for military personnel. Yes, they do, Oliver, especially intelligence officers. They'd love to find out that we're traveling to Russia and then go after us. Yeah, so I'll probably never in my lifetime ever go to Russia. So it's all right. You get an extra South African passport, no beard or just beard. Modern Talking, Miami Sound Machine. Oh, remember Miami Sound Machine? It was Gloria Estefan and Michael Flatley, the Lord of the Flies, Lord of the Dance. So you ever traveled to Egypt? No, I've not. I've actually become very interested in Egyptology recently. Really interested in it. I've always had a minor fascination as a historian, but for some reason I've become very interested recently. But I've never been to Egypt. I've been close. I've been in the Sinai, or next to the Sinai, I should say. I was in Israel. Yes, I've been close, but I've never been in Egypt. It's too many terrorists there. Yeah, I got the crew cracking up. Okay. IEC hired incompetent individuals who couldn't understand how to navigate technology downtime. Well, James, that may have been some of them, but that wasn't all of them. That doesn't speak to everyone's experience. That's so again, an anecdotal experience, and I'm not defending the IEC. Trust me, that's the last group I'm going to defend. Forgot to ask the pilot coming to Cape Town used Rob now as a mark. If you were window seat on the left, you would have seen it. Yeah, but I was on the right-hand side, and I get a fantastic shot of Table Mountain with the wing and the engine, and I took a picture without it, and I posted one of them, I think, on Twitter. Yeah. David Falk, Egyptologist. Well, there's another guy, Dr. Robert Breyer from University of Long Island, who did this series back in the 1990s, and I watched that recently. I already had the interest before that, but this really sparked that. That's why I went looking for it. Pretty good. He was a lecturer, gave us like 48 different lectures. They're about a half hour to an hour each, and they were produced a long time. You can find them on Amazon Prime in the States. I don't know if you can get it here. Attended a wedding in Egypt, uninvited. You were wedding crashers, huh? What else? Hope to see you still during your trip. Yes, is where UB40 Brian Adams. UB40 would have been good. Brian Adams, he's all right, but not great. You could vote South Africa. If I could vote South Africa, who would I have selected? Well, I've said it before. I mean, reading through their party's platforms, the party that most clearly aligns with me is probably the Freedom Front Plus. They're a conservative party. They believe in faith, family, and flag. They believe in free market capitalism. They believe in non-racialism. Those are all good things. So they're not the party that was founded by Constantine Fillon back in the 1990s. They're a very different party today under Dr. Peter Rondebosch. So yeah, I would probably vote for them. I would consider Action SA. ACDP is interesting, but maybe not just my cup of tea. But I mean, I like the ACDP. But yeah, no. Most of them, no. All those leftists, no. I probably wouldn't vote for the DA. Years ago, I would have voted for the DA, but not anymore. Yeah. I'll try to do a stream tomorrow. Tomorrow, oh, by the way, if there's a smaller audience, I should have said this sooner. The Reformation Society in Rondebosch does an event on Thursdays at 6 p.m. They have a dinner. You come eat the dinner. It's rather a Spartan dinner, but they do it, and then they have an event, someone speaking. Tomorrow, I forgot what the topic is. I'll post it in the travel group. But Dr. Peter Hammond has invited me to come. I think they might ask me to get up and have a few remarks and might answer some questions. I don't have a scheduled speech. Usually when I go to the Reformation Society, we plan it ahead. And what I'll do is I'll ask him tomorrow if he wants me to give a lecture. And when I come back, before I go to the States, I can give the lecture when I come back. But tomorrow, everyone here is invited to come to Rondebosch, to the Reformation Society, 6 p.m. if you want to get something to eat. and 7 p.m. for the event. I'm going to go to that. So, yep. I didn't vote for the DA, says Call Me Novak. Any Motown artists live? No, not that I can recall. 1010 is French. 1010 is French. That's where it comes from. Yep. It's a very famous French thing. Chris would vote for DA. The beard would vote for Freedom Front Plus. I don't think so. 1010 comic book. Yep, it is French. Yep, I have the books in French. But they put them in all kinds of languages. I should do more historic and informational streams within South Africa. Well, I did, and nobody watched them. I went to Blood River. I did a broadcast from there. I did a video. I posted on YouTube and TikTok. Almost nobody watched. I went to Isandlwana. I did a live stream from there. No, I couldn't do a live stream. I didn't have a signal. I went to Works Drift. I tried to go to a couple other places. I went to the Mandela Capture site in Howick and did something there. I try to do these historic things, but people just don't have the interest. I did the documentary with the Pet Zoo film crew in 2022. It doesn't even have 1,000 views. It's an incredible video. It's a shame. But I can't. Strumpy. Yep, okay. Keith says, okay, Keith, were you looking on FlightAware at my flight path? Because you weren't on the plane. ACDP and Freedom Flights would join together. Yes, they would. They will. They'll work together. Men without hats. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. And if you don't dance, then you don't dance. You're no friend of mine. You can dance. Doing it pole to pole. Strippers. Yes, okay. Flute Groenewald, often very kind to the crew. The rest of the politicians call. Yeah, no, Peter Groenewald is a gentleman. He is a gentleman. Yep. Views might not be there, but the few hundred of us really enjoy. Well, Nico, yeah, that's why I still do them. It's just that it can't be the whole focus. Otherwise, we don't grow the channel. We don't reach more people. But again, as I said, clearly the numbers YouTube provided are false. They're fictional. 2 people tonight who never chatted in this chat were in here tonight, and they watch my channel. I met them in the queue at 2 different locations. Yes, Arctic is a pilot, M35. He's a recovering South African pilot. He's in the States now. Serge, I don't know. Hermes, yeah. No, Asterix is French too. Asterix and Obelix is French. Nico doesn't understand. Well, no, Nico, I'll do more of them. I don't not do them. I'm happy to do them. But it was so, it's depressing that my Groot Constantia has so few viewers. I think I renamed it recently, and I don't know if it took off, but I doubt it. Billy thinks Alex should just annex Lesotho. No. Lesotho earned its independence. The Trek Boers were unable to defeat Mshweshwe. He went up into the mountains and defeated them. I think some of the Trek Boers were surprised that they had weapons, guns, and they knew how to use them. And they held off, and they kept their independence. Now, Lesotho is welcome to be an independent nation. It's fine. Yep. But they have no legitimate claims to half the Free State, which is what some of their politicians are claiming. They lost at war. It's all's fair and love in war. Yep. Yeah, Joe's a pilot too. Thank you, Hendo. Okay. You're the only pilot in the USA living in Dorvoors and Richelieu. Yeah, well, it's because you're hogging all the Dorvoors. You haven't sent me anybody. Yeah, Artie keeps promising to come to Harrisburg and bring me Dorvoors, and he's failed to do it. He's like frickin' ANC, makes lots of empty promises. Yes, Asterix and Obelix is French. That is correct, R1. Look it up. Yep. They're the Gaulois. Asterix and Obelix are the Gaulois. They are the people the Romans attacked. Yep. Honestly, your thoughts on Colleen Makubela and her election campaign? I haven't given much thought, James. The other day, Peter Groenewald gave South Africa SAFM a lesson on why BE is wrong. They didn't like it very much. No, they don't, because they love BE. Because they're stupid. They think BE means that money is stolen from white people and given to black people, and that's good. Well, money is stolen from wealthy people, mostly white, but not entirely, and given to people who don't deserve it, who happen to be black. It doesn't benefit black people, benefits the elite, privileged, connected individuals, and that's morally wrong. Morally wrong. Anyway, Told you Dorvos is sold by the green card. 10 kg per green card. No, Keith. There was turbulence, particularly when we left Atlanta. It was pretty bumpy, but it was an A350. It's like riding in a bus. It's no big deal. Yeah, those are the planes that South African Airways used to have because they leased them from Mauritius Air, but they don't have them anymore. Yes, Openon BE is a scam. Asterix and Obelix, yeah. Baker was the architect for the Union buildings and older homes from Randnor's early years. Okay. Anyway, that's interesting. Well, so we got a lot of likes. We got 182. I wonder if we can get 200 here. Yes, Patrice Motsepe owns 30% of Blue Bulls. I'm aware of that. Yep. I'm aware of that. Childhood reads. Well, James, that's true. But if you're learning a foreign language as an adult, reading Asterix and Obelix is very helpful. And Tintin. I have the books in French for Tintin and for Asterix and Obelix. It's been a bumpy week in the USA. Lots of weather. Yeah, I know. It's because my flight was canceled. But there was also an air traffic shutdown in Harrisburg. I have no idea. I don't know if Biden flew up there or what was going on. We're an alternate airport for military flights that are doing sensitive things. And so sometimes they shut down our airspace. How sad is this? Oh, Nico, the sand death is a disgusting joke, and that's no assault of the soldiers and sailors and airmen that are in it, but it's really sad. It's really, really sad. It's unfortunate that it's that way, but that's what it is. Shame. Anyway, Captain Haddock. Yeah, the South African National Defense Force is in really bad shape. Underfunded, neglected. Basic maintenance isn't done. 85% of the Army's resources go to pay salaries, and they're not exactly well paid. Trump jury requests another copy of the judge's instructions. Well, if they find Trump guilty, this country is civil war. Hey, Sargon. Yeah, it went okay. As far Andre just had a message deleted. I missed that. What was Andre saying? Okay. And Hester's out of here. Yeah, I think we should all wrap up here. It's getting kind of late. I never read Beano comics. I don't know that. Sand equals KFC art. Asterix and Tintin books as a child. 190 likes. Okay, well, we need 10 more here. 10 more. I'm getting a bunch of Telegram messages now. Anyway, yeah, so we'll keep track of the results. I'll comment and analyze the results as they come in and keep you guys up to date. I'll do more videos tomorrow. I may be going down to Simonstown area. I'm not sure. And then I'm also going to be at Rondebosch in the afternoon. So, yep. Yes, the South African Defense Force built some incredible tech, including the G5, the G6, the Buffalo, the Caspers, yep. If Trump goes to jail, you'll get me out of USA. If MK wins, I'll smug you out of the Cape. Well, ANC attempted election interference by distributing KFC vouchers. Oh, that is illegal. Where did that happen, G-Sor? Nico says, thank you for everything. Share the truth, support, and love for South Africa. It's my pleasure, Nico. Yep, it's my pleasure. Wow. Krugersdorp chat tomorrow. Possibly, Ian, for Krugersdorp, but I'll probably be live tomorrow. Anyway, but tonight I've got to get up again at 1 o'clock. Yeah, the Cheetah, the Rufalk, yes. Yep. And they did amazing things with the aircraft they had, retrofitting them and keeping them. Even their Olifants, they were Centurion tanks. They kept them going for a long time. Yep, and upgraded them on their own. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up here, folks. 139 people here, 192 likes. We're not quite at 200. Hopefully people will get there. And the Ruycott, yep. Roy Falk was amazing. Unfortunately, they never successfully sold it to anybody else. The Italians pretended they wanted it. They were just going to get a better deal from Augusta. How did you manage to get to land in the end? Oh, Keith, I had to drive 160 kilometers to Allentown and speed almost the entire way there. And when I got to the counter, I left my bags outside, ran inside, and gave her my passport. She started checking me in. She said, well, I was closing in 3 minutes, so I just made it. Yep. What's your take on Pick and Pay? Pick and Pay is decent. I like Pick and Pay. I like Checkers. But the Ackerman family is no longer going to be controlling it. They founded the company. Now they're going to step away from it, which is interesting. But they're losing their ass. I don't know why Pick and Pay is losing so much money. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I don't know why they're losing so much money. So Wolf says, thanks and good night. Enjoy your stay in Western Cape. Thank you. Whatever your place would be in the world if we never got rid of the nukes. Our place. Oh, South Africa. Wouldn't change anything. Wouldn't change anything. Yep. All right, folks. Thanks a lot. 194 likes. PNP got hammered by checkers. 60. Yeah, I think you're right, Arctic. Yeah, that might be what's going on there. All right. So thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night. Hopefully get 200 likes on this. And I'll see you later. And again, congratulations to South Africa on a largely peaceful and event-free, although frustrating election for many people who had to wait in long queues. And that probably just a good sign. A lot of people showed up. The veggies last 5 minutes. Well, Woolies veggies last for 5 days, but they cost a fortune. Cheers, everybody. Good night. Thanks a lot. And I really appreciate it. Thanks for the super chats. Catch you all later on. And look for a meet and greet, possibly at either Woodbridge Island in Bossa or at the Kapstadt Brauerei in Blaubergstrand, maybe Friday, early evening. All right. Cheers. Catch you all later. Good night, everybody. Thanks a lot. God bless.